Hey, I just wanted to thank all the parents for coming out for our coffee connection here online. We'll also be recording this and we'll be sending that with our newsletter next month. One of the first groups that I was able to meet with last summer when I was down for July was the Jennifer Claire Moore Foundation. The director there just kind of shared their program, shared what they were doing, and kind of pitched the idea of having a peer helpers program here on campus. It sounded like an awesome thing, and so we wanted to make sure that we had the ability to do that. And so we kind of talked with Audrey at the beginning of the school year and said, hey, is this something you're interested in doing? Is this something you want to do? And she said, yeah. And so we've kind of walked through that process. So I wanted to kind of talk about just the program that we have on campus as far as the peer helpers. And then we'll kind of talk at the end maybe about suicide a little bit, and then kind of how we can be involved in that. But Audrey, tell us a little bit about the program, kind of, the history of it, some of those type of things.
Okay, well, the Jennifer Claire Moore Foundation began in 1998, and it actually started with Jennifer Claire Moore was a local teenager who committed suicide, and after the fact they found out she didn't feel like she had anyone at her school that she could speak with. She didn't have staff members or friends or anybody that she felt comfortable with. It was very unfortunate circumstances. So the family started this foundation in her name to prevent this from happening to any other child. They're currently serving over 46 schools in the Baldwin County, Gulf Coast area, and they're expanding.
And the thing that I loved about this program is it's no cost to the school, so
Right.
The foundation covers all of the cost, all the things that
They
go with
provide
it.
all of our training. They actually give us money so that we can provide resources for our school for training purposes.
And one of the things I really liked about this program is the whole idea is kids will talk to their peers about struggles at school, about struggles in life, maybe struggles at home, and they're much more apt to talk with their peers,
Right.
and then be able, those peers, if they're trained correctly, can be confidants, can be helpful, but they also, if they hear certain things, are able to get it to an adult, and adult can make an informed decision that way. So I love this program. I think it's pretty good. Talk a little bit about the training that our
Sure.
students went through, training that you guys went through.
Okay, so they provide training for the representatives. So I did receive some off-site training. It was very intensive. A lot of great resources that they provided the representatives with, and then we take that information and we will train our student peer helpers with the same training that we have received.
And so then you came back to campus. We went through a selection process to identify kids. How many peer helpers do we have on campus?
We currently have 8 peer helpers, and they range from 8th through 12th grade. They are selected just by their personalities, if they're approachable, their character in and out of the classroom. We had teachers give their input as far as who is approachable and who the other kids could relate to.
And so then once we kind of selected them, went through the training, and then what does it look like if you walk? What does a peer helper do on campus? How does it look here on our campus?
Sure. So our peer helpers, we're new this year, so we are still learning. There's so many great resources out there for us to pull from. For this year, we have taken a theme for each month. So like in November, we did thankfulness. Our peer helpers would write notes of thankfulness to staff members and teachers. We kind of littered the hallway in the high school building with posters and Post-it notes all over lockers. They're mentoring other students. A lot of them are tutoring younger students. We hosted a buddy day, working with 6th graders, getting them ready for middle school next year. So we're learning, we're staying busy. They're just a great group of kids, and I've really enjoyed working with them.
No, I think that's, we're going to build this program as we go along, and the training we do this year will help with next year, and then as we add more peer helpers as we go along. I know Alabama, the suicide rate in Alabama tends to be a little bit higher than the national rate of suicide. And so, there's so many interesting facts about suicide. It's how it affects our young people, but it's the second leading cause of death in the United States in the teenage and early 20 age bracket. And so the number one is accidents, and number two is suicide. So it's an issue that I think we need to be thoughtful about. And I think some of the research shows that kids that are thinking about suicide will talk about it. I mean, and they'll talk about it with their peers. And so I think it's really helpful to have our kids out there listening and just kind of making sure that they're kind of tied into what's going on the campus. Is there anything else about the program that?
We're really wanting our peer helpers to become more ambassadors for our school, kids that the younger students and their peers can recognize as someone they can comfortably talk to if they are having a problem, if they are thinking thoughts of suicide, that they are comfortable speaking with these peer helpers. And then if there's a problem, our peer helpers have a responsibility to report that.
And then we have, those peer helpers have good contacts with their classroom teachers, with you, with the administration. So there's definitely routes for that information.
Yeah, and confidentiality is key too. Our peer helpers sign an agreement. If a kid comes to them and they're having a problem, we don't share that information. They don't gossip about it. It's all very confidential.
And that's good that that's part of the training for the peer helpers themselves. Well, and again, I'm glad that you guys come out today and kind of listen to the kind of presentation about the Jennifer Claire Moore Foundation and the Peer Helpers Program here on campus. If you have questions, I know Audrey would be more than happy to answer those questions. So I look forward to talking with you guys. And if you have any questions, let us know.